Beginning with Charlotte Flair and the whole contentious circumstance, what went wrong and what's going on there? Since December 2023, Charlotte Flair has not competed because she catastrophically injured her knee during a live SmackDown match. Charlotte started her protracted recuperation after requiring emergency knee surgery. Charlotte would ultimately miss all of 2024. Additionally, there was a lot of talk in the first few weeks of 2025 about Charlotte's impending return. Charlotte Flair vignettes then began to appear on SmackDown with a few weeks till the Royal Rumble. The last one reveals that Charlotte will make a comeback during the actual Royal Rumble match. When the Royal Rumble arrives, Charlotte Flair enters the match at position 27. Charlotte Flair and Roxanne Perez get it to the final two, where she eventually prevails and outlasts Perez. Additionally, Charlotte Flair's second Royal Rumble victory did not receive the best welcome from fans. Regarding Jay, supporters seem to be evenly divided on that outcome. However, it seemed that the response to Charlotte Flair was about 75% negative, and the fans were simply unhappy with the outcome. In this instance, the supporters are not being irrational, rather, they are somewhat correct. The choice to have Charlotte Flair win the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble was dubious and unnecessary. When Charlotte Flair wins the Royal Rumble, nothing really happens. Given that she is a seasoned professional, a 14-time world champion, a well-known superstar, and a potential Hall of Famer, how much did she need her second Royal Rumble victory to add to her already impressive career stat sheet? Although she hasn't been seen in a while, some fans still have Charlotte Flair world champion fatigue because she was a 14-time world champion. Therefore, it seems sense that some fans may get disenchanted with Charlotte Flair and turn against her rather than support her as she returns, skips the line, and is offered a world title bout at WrestleMania within 10 minutes of her return. It is somewhat the opposite of what transpired during the Men's Royal Rumble. After John Cena loses the Royal Rumble, he becomes somewhat of a sympathetic figure because you, as the audience, understand how much he wanted it and what it meant to him. As a result, you feel sorry for him and want to support him as he attempts to regain his position at the top. With Charlotte Flair, we don't really get that. Some fans are annoyed since she simply returned, didn't truly travel or struggle, and had the WrestleMania World Title match ready for her right away. Some fans perceive this as the firm putting someone down their throats, and when that occurs, the audience typically rejects the person the company is trying to push upon them. John Cena was involved in it in the early 2010s. Roman Reigns did it in the middle of the decade of the 2010s, and it seems like Charlotte Flair is experiencing it right now. Furthermore, the skill was not at all at fault in any of these three situations. The fan reaction directed at those three should be attributed to their dubious creative choices in writing. When John Cena was portrayed as an unbeatable superhero who never suffered setbacks or losses, fans were irritated. Roman Reigns' big dog version is in the same predicament. That figure was portrayed by WWE as an unstoppable force that never lost and effortlessly defeated opponents like Triple H, The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, and others without even trying. Therefore, when WWE employs that formula, it can occasionally result in the audience being disenchanted with the talent because they simply don't want to be spoon-fed in that way, and it appears that's what's happening with Charlotte Flair at the moment. The Cleveland audience responded negatively to Charlotte Flair's appearance on Raw following the Royal Rumble. When Charlotte tried to be candid about her knee injury, her belief that she would never wrestle again, and how much she loved and missed everyone, they still didn't like it and jeered her as she left the arena. The Raw Cleveland audience then stood entirely for Rhea Ripley over Charlotte Flair when she emerged. Naturally, the sample size is modest. Will the response of every crowd to Charlotte's charm be the same as Cleveland's? To find out how the live audiences continue to respond to Charlotte, we must wait and obtain a larger sample size. The next night, Charlotte made an appearance on NXT, and she received a far better response than Raw. However, Charlotte's interaction with Tiffany Stratton in the ring on SmackDown will be the true litmus test for how the live audience feels about Charlotte Flair. That is, in fact, the decisive element. Will the crowd continue to support Tiffany Stratton or will they support Charlotte Flair? We'll see, but it appears that Tiffany will have more supporters. Thus Charlotte Flair winning the Royal Rumble is an odd choice. They still have the opportunity to at WrestleMania. Tiffany and Charlotte square off, and the Women's Royal Rumble is won by someone else. Everyone benefits in that scenario if you give the Rumble victory to someone else who needs the boost while Charlotte still wins her WrestleMania World Title bout. Once more, it's comparable to the Men's Rumble scenario. On his career stat sheet, Jay wins the Royal Rumble, which obviously helps him more than Cena winning another Rumble bout, but John Cena still receives his WWE World Title battle. Therefore, it's strange that they applied that mindset to the Men's Rumble but abandoned it for the Women's Royal Rumble. How WWE intended to present Charlotte's character is another important topic that will assist decide whether or not Charlotte's Rumble victory was a smart choice. The writing was flawless if their goal was to have her return as a huge heel. However, you have to question the decision-making process if their goal was for her to be a big babyface and go on this lengthy post-injury trek back to the top. And who knows, perhaps they discovered that Cody Rhodes had success with this identical approach when they look back at 2023. When Cody made his huge comeback from the torn pec in the 2023 Royal Rumble, he won the match and had all of the fans rooting for him. You have to question whether that was the intention of WWE. Were they expecting Charlotte to follow in 2023 Cody Rhodes' footsteps and receive the same fan reaction and reception after recovering from an injury? You can't help but feel sorry for Charlotte Flair as a person because this is a woman who had her knee completely destroyed in December 2023. It's just difficult to tell what they were thinking, and it's still very early on the road to WrestleMania, so hopefully we get to see their vision get more fleshed out here as the weeks go by. This was not simply a little ACL tear, it was a severe knee injury, raising questions for a while about Charlotte's future ability to wrestle. However, she continued to struggle, train, grind, and eventually managed to obtain medical clearance to participate. Therefore, it is a miracle in and of itself that she is currently wrestling. She returns for her first Raw appearance in a very long time, and as she discusses her injuries that nearly ended her career, she is jeered as she leaves the building. You do feel sorry for her, and that's difficult, but once more, Charlotte is not to blame. The choice to have her win the Royal Rumble is what it all boils down to. If Charlotte had lost the Royal Rumble, there's a good probability that the Raw audience would have given her a more favorable reception. That's what's happening there. Then, it appears that WWE may find themselves in a similar predicament with Charlotte Flair this year, just like they had to change course last year due to the fans' response to The Rock. If Charlotte is being jeered loudly at venues, she cannot be allowed to speak like a babyface. It appears that the live audiences will influence the Charlotte Flair appearance that serves as a reminder of the path to WrestleMania. They'll probably have to make Charlotte Flair completely villain if they're jeering at her. What would happen if Tiffany's time as champion was cut short by Charlotte Flair? Who would then win the title at WrestleMania 41? Would the fans go even more insane? It's simply so regrettable because, in spite of public opinion, Charlotte Flair did have a promising babyface story there. Despite the odds, this woman overcame an injury that nearly ended her career. She had been completely off television since December 2023, so her return after all that time and her recovery from that horrific injury should have been celebrated with a wonderful greeting. However, once more, Charlotte is not at fault. Rather, it all comes down to the writing and choices that made her the winner of the Royal Rumble on her first night back. That is simply something that will immediately turn off fans. Also, as previously said, the 2023 Cody Rhodes analogy. Why didn't Cody get jeered and have the fans turn against him after he recovered from an injury and won the Royal Rumble? It was probably because the fans were eager to see that story and Cody was still very much the underdog, still vying for his first world title. Since Charlotte is vying for her 15th world championship, there isn't a compelling underdog story to support. Thus, we'll have to wait and watch how things develop, but it appears like WWE's choice of Charlotte's character will be influenced by fan responses over the coming weeks.